Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. This is now part 2 of the 1.85 dev server preview, and we're looking at nothing but the tanks. Again, it's dev server, it's the first iteration, it's not final, everything is subject to change. The tanks and their stats that you can see on the stat card on the left hand side are all stock tanks. I don't have the time to go through all of them, and again, everything is subject to change. There might be some removal or addition of certain vehicles, of certain stats, you name it, but this is a first raw overlook, so I tried to do it as quickly as possible. We begin with the AB41, and then we have the L6040. If you have interest in a particular tank, just stop the video, pause the video, and read the stat card. So that's the only offer that I can make. Moving on to the M1441, which was presented in the dev blog. Then we have the AS42. That looks absolutely cool, like from, I don't know, Indiana Jones movies. I certainly will play this and present that to you. It looks really cool. Then we have the L333cc, which looks goofy in its own way. Then we have the M1139, not the greatest tank design ever. And then we have the 4732L40, and this is now tier 1. Moving on to tier 2, we begin with the AB43. Also looks very cool. I mean, I love my wheeled tanks. I recently made a guide how to steer them more effectively. You might want to look it up. I just did it like yesterday and released it today. Then we have the P40, and unsurprisingly it looks like the Leoncello, the premium version. So I think that's overall the same performance. The R3T20FAHS looks also really cool. 20mm Olicon with this belt fat. That can be cool. We'll have to see how this works. Definitely worth a look at. 7518 M41. Well, for battle rating 2.3, that looks like a howitzer. Does it have special ammunition? Well, we even have heat with 100mm, so it could be worse. Yeah, 270 grams of TNT in the AP-CBC rounds, but low penetration. Yeah, but it looks cool. The armor, well, it's flat, but 75mm for that battle rating, you know, that's not bad. That's certainly not bad. Moving on, 7532 M41, battle rating 3.0, well, basically the same deal at higher battle rating. 7534 M42, cool skin. Battle rating 3.3. Question is if you have, you actually have thinner armor with only 50mm. So we'll see how the gun actually does. Then we also have the P40 CG Leoncello. And that is practically the Tech Tree premium. Oh, no, that's the premium tank. I made a review about this tank just a few months ago, so you might want to have a look at it if it's worth. I certainly like it. Moving on to tier 3, and we begin with the Breda 501. So the armor, as expected, you know, it's not nothing, but open topped, big gun. It's a 90mm at battle rating 4.0. Let's have a quick look at the stats. 94mm, high explosive, 100. You know, it could be better. It certainly could be better. That's not approaching here the performance of Panzer IV F2 long 75, but it should have more penetration power, but that's just me. Then moving on to the M4 typical IC or 1C. Yeah, that is a Sherman Firefly. End of discussion. Battle rating 4.7. Going down to battle rating 3.3 again, we have the 105-25 M43. Well, it looks like very flat design. The armor 75mm could be worse. The gun, is there anything special about it? 64 and 120mm. This is a heat shell, so I'm not quite sure. The reload really kills it. Then there we have the 105-25 M43 GC Leoncello. That's the premium version, 75mm of armor, same battle ratings, same gun, same ammunition, yeah, so can't get much better than this. Then the 75-34 M43, battle rating 4.3, very thin armor, and a 75mm Ansaldo 75L43 ammunition. Underwhelming, actually. Not really convincing for that battle rating. Not very far. That's not good. That's not good. Definitely not a good vehicle. 75-46 M43, battle rating 4.7. We have a different gun model, same thin armor, not the very best mobility. Decent performance. That's more like a puck. That's a 75mm long barreled puck, like on a Puckwagen. Okay-ish, decent gun, but the rest is not really great. Then the 90-43 M41M, that looks, you know, that looks like the Waffenträger auf E100 that they removed from another game, just in the derpy version. Now, battle rating 5.3, and you have a 90mm. That doesn't look much longer than on the previous tank. Let's have a quick look at the penetration, and oh god, this will be really bad. This is the battle rating where you can on a regular basis encounter T-34s and also Panthers if you fight against the Germans, and that's not gonna end well for you. Not very fast, not great armor, very disappointing battle rating. I mean, just from roughly looking at the stats, very disappointing. Moving on to tier 4, and we begin with the Fiat 66114. Yeah. So battle rating 6.7, that's the battle rating for the Italians. Seems to have much better mobility. Again, this is stock. Great top speed and a recoilless rifle with 17 rounds and a 50 caliber machine gun on top. So we'll see. Penetration is really great, and a hash round. So yeah. Spot the traceable. Oh, there. Yeah, that's not gonna be good. The armor, obviously, nothing. Yeah, so this is the Italian flavor, I guess. The R3 T106FA is the same battle rating, but we only have 10 rounds, and therefore we have 2 barrels. Yeah, the mobility, that can be really cool, fully upgraded. So over 30 horsepower per ton fully upgraded, I guess. So at least the mobility and 115 kilometers per hour. You really need to use my driver guide at this point. The M26A1 is now a more solid tank, but for battle rating 6.7, that's really nothing special. It's your M26. Yeah, the ammunition is basically the same. APCR, APCBC, yeah, the same. So okay-ish, but then that's it. Then we go to the M36B1, and that is basically at battle rating 6.7, a Sherman with a Super Hellcat turret. No, thank you, no. Totally over-tiered. Yeah. Then we have the premium M26 DC Ariete, and for some strange, bizarre reason, that has then a 0.4 lower battle rating than the M26A1. I don't see where this is much better. So, not very impressive so far. Going to tier 5. And we begin with the Aubel or AUBL 74. That looks cool. Horsepower to ton ratio seems to be okay-ish, just under 20. 20-ish, fully upgraded, I guess. Again, 100mm, 90mm Cockerill M3 cannon. Very interesting name. Let's have a look at the ammunition. Yeah, Heat 300, Hash 100, and smoke shells. Not the fastest rate of fire, but I guess it's okay-ish as a scout. Yeah, we'll see. So, light tank scout, definitely. M47, 105, 55. Oof. Oof. Yeah, an M47 with a stock L7 gun. Oh, that's gonna be painful at 7.7. The Centauro also at 7.7. Well, that looks more promising, doesn't it? 25 tons, fully upgraded. We are looking at probably a horsepower to ton ratio of 20, maximum speed 110 kilometers. Really cool design. I love the design. How it actually will play out at bat rating 7.7 with that gun, we'll have to see. Again, here the stock L7 syndrome. Yeah, we'll see. Then the Zidam 25 or Sidam. I tried this actually out in the test drive. Really derpy. Not the greatest mobility. Not even 20 horsepower per ton ratio, but a quadruple 25mm Oerlikon KBA. But not the greatest amount of ammunition, but certainly derpy as all hell, and it is radar guided at 8.0. The OF40 is a really cool looking tank. Again, we're not approaching 20 horsepower per ton, but then again, let's have a look at the gun. Again, stock L7 syndrome. Yuck. So far, not really that convincing. Then we have the M60A1 DC Ariete, and yeah, that's your M60A1. You know, that looks like a grindfest. That looks like a grindfest so far. On this, I would be careful to buy it. I certainly need to check it out. Tier 6, and finally we come to the Centauro Romor. Again, really cool design. We have actually a little bit of aero protection. How this will work out on a light tank, or in this case it's actually a tank destroyer, so I don't know if it's susceptible to hull break, but the armor is certainly nothing special. Let's have a look at the ammunition. Yeah, we have the DM23, so it's a bit like the TAM, I guess, just with wheels. That's mostly a disadvantage because the TAM is so goddamn fast. But it could be fun. We'll see. The OF40 Mark IIA, well, it looks like Leopard. The armor certainly would imply that. Yeah, not the greatest armor. But the gun 105mm. Again, we have bat rating of 8.7. Again, L7 stock grind syndrome. Up until you get the DM23, then it will be, well, extremely good in this respect. Then we have the automatic, and this is probably the tank, but it's just an SPA at rank 6 with a battle rating of 9.0, but it has a 76mm auto Breda Canone da 76/62 and only 90 rounds. You can see the armor, well, there is a little bit on the hull, but the turret is very prominent and thin. Let's have a look at the shells, and yes, you see that right. It has stock APFSTS. Now, people have said that it only has like 11 of them, but that is still 11 more than you get with the other tanks when they're stock. But how useful it will be at 9.0 versus your XM1s, you know, I guess the reload rate of 0.6 seconds really will make up for it. And there we have the HE shells, high explosive fragmentation shell, self-destroying, but it doesn't look like a proximity fuse, but I certainly have to test this out. So the Italian tech tree, cool looking tanks. The performance is debatable. Lots of the low tier stuff looks fairly over tiered. If they perform like this, they would be a great addition for the Germans at their battle ratings to be useful as scouts and just light tanks, for the flanking support, for the scouting. But if they fight against the Germans, then I'm not quite sure if their guns will make a difference up to 6.7. And after that, I have my doubts that they will be, at the current battle ratings, very competitive. But everything is subject to change, everything is possible, and again, battle ratings, performance, stat-wise, that will change. Maybe we'll see even more additions, but definitely an interesting tech tree so far. So I hope I made it short. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if it did. Subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this whole Italian tech tree, how this looks to you. Is this what you expected? Do you miss some tanks? And as usual, we'll see each other in the skies, on the battlefields, and on the waves of War Thunder.